ADC where I just ate 2 slices of pizza and I am ready to cast the best League of Legends of my entire career. And I am certainly hoping that MAD Lions and Astralis can deliver. Astralis now on blue side, their home, as Caedrel highlighted, where they have a positive win rate, where they have the luxury of early picking champions or first picking.
Yep.
Now we need to see if they can leverage that to take down the MAD Lions, who were pretty scary in game 1. Didn't do anything too crazy. Didn't take any really big risks overall, I would say. Just played a pretty clean game of League of Legends.
Yeah, you might think it's a little bit of a draft diff in a way, just in terms of like when win conditions and how slim they were for Astralis. The windows they had to find had to be on the dot, but yeah, I mean, the way MAD Lions played was just very heavy poke. Not taking anything away from how Elyoya and Hylissang specifically played the early game, just moving around the map and getting those picks. But this is it. Astralis, lose this game and you're out. So everything on the table. And on blue side, like I said, this is their comfort side. This is their home. This is exactly where they're finding most of their wins. And we'll get into the draft in just a second. I think the Maokai was a crucial thing they need to take away. Okay, it's banned straight away.
It is.
And I think looking for a Sejuani first pick here for 113 is a no-brainer.
Would be strong. Also sets up for some strong synergy if Dajor wants to play something melee in the mid lane, similar for Finn in the top side of the map. And MAD Lions taking a bit more time debating their options. They are going to ban the Sejuani away, seeing the same pattern that you have, that, 113 looking pretty confident on that pick.
He is indeed. So Ashe taken away from Hylissang. Want to take away that pressure bot. Lucian Nami is still up if that's something that MAD Lions want to target here. Wukong, Vi, the next on the list for junglers. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Jarvan come out from 113 as well.
Run back on the Carzzy Draven.
Yeah, maybe we could see a Kobbe Varus, Carzzy Draven. A lot of directions it could go here. So Elise is going to get banned. I didn't touch on her because I didn't think it would be something that would be banned against 113. He hasn't played it just yet, but maybe they're scared of the dive potential, the early game power he can have. Looks like Astralis is going to lean towards that Lucian Nami lane again. I mean, I think Kobbe and JeongHoon had a pretty good game despite all things considered. Does MAD Lions take away the Nami and play a Draven lane is my question.
That would be a big question, because one of the big things that kept going well for the MAD Lions in the previous game was Hylissang. While Hylissang's scoreline wasn't great, he was consistently forcing out so many ultimates in every single fight, and effectively making a lot of the engage options for Astralis useless because he was the only available target for them to hit. So I like Hylissang on engage. I don't care if he has a bad scoreline. I feel like it's always just an easier way to play the game.
Yeah, so they might just run something like Varus jungle here, Nautilus on 3, something like Wukong could work. They want to look for just raw team fights. If they want to look for a bit more early game, something like Vi might be a bit better. See what they opt into. So early game it is. They're going to go for Nautilus on 3, I expect. Nami here for JeongHoon. And yeah, I mean, Wukong is just something that I think 113 should pick up, but he hasn't played that this split either. So is he going to go for Trundle or Jarvan? I mean, Jarvan against Varus is good. You just need follow-up. Really, really need follow-up. I think in that last game on Vi, he had some decent engages, but it just lacked a lot of follow-up.
Yep. Dajor,
Sylas, classic. And I'm going to make sure they slam that in quickly. See if Nisqy wants to go for the Jace here, have some kind of good mid matchup. Maybe something like the Azir perhaps to push it in.
Debating his options last time around. When we saw Dajor pick up the Sylas, Nisqy went straight for the Rise.
He's hovering TF and Vex and looking over at Dajor, and Dajor's looking back at him, and they're both having a little bit of a giggle. I think he's teasing him with the champions that he knows he wants to play, and he's been finding success on. Do they just go for Nautilus here? Does Nisqy have the confidence to drop 4-5? Yeah, he does.
I think he does.
So much experience on that player. He's happy to go into the next the next phase of the pick ban, and I think it's a very similar situation to game 1. But here, MAD Lions can target jungle, Astralis can target mid.
Yeah, see what the option is going to be. Does he want to go back for Jace? Rise also an option. Ooh. What does Astralis really want to take away here?
Cassio. I think Cassio is something you need to be careful of here. If you're playing Lucian, Nami, Sylas, Nisqy would happily pick up a Cassiopeia here on 4. Azir is going to be the first one, but I'd be a bit scared of that one. Rise is another one that can work really well.
Yeah.
Talia can be fantastic as well.
You're big on the Talia. You're loving the Talia right now.
I think it's just such a powerful pick. The Eastern regions are playing Talia often with Vi, and I feel like the follow-up is insane. And it's specifically against Lucian, Nami, Sylas, Akali, whatever it is. It just creates so much space. So I think MAD Lions have done the right thing here in picking Nautilus, because I think there's so many champions Nisqy can play here.
It does make a lot of sense. And now trying to limit some of the options for Finn on the top side of the map, of course. Well, MAD Lions will get the luxury of last pick and counter picking at least one role. They'll have to blind pick something. But I'm wondering now, MAD Lions not opting to burn 2 jungle bans, just focused on the Wukong. What is 113 actually going to play here?
I think it might be Trundle, because they have Nautilus, they have Vi. I think Trundle only really works if they have a melee support. If you're playing Trundle against Zeri, Lulu, Lucian, Nami, it's a nightmare. even if they have Sejuani. So I think Trundle would be my go-to here for Astralis. I think Gnar could also work as a blind pick. It's not something MAD Lions can play because they're up against the Sylas, and blinding Gnar here would be a bit detrimental to the draft, I think, because they already have shown mid, right? It doesn't really make sense to just pick away Gnar, especially against Sylas.
And that is an advantage of Astralis locking in the Sylas so early on, as it comes preemptively.
So Zoe does well into the Sylas. It used to be, I don't want to say counter, but it won the lane, pushed in the lane, won trades, and Sylas would struggle.
And got buffed. Reduces magic resistance by a significant amount. Now, there's no one else to take advantage of that on the team, but Zoe a little bit stronger on this patch.
Interesting. So maybe MAD Lions here just testing it out. It's probably something that worked in scrims. They don't want to leave it till next weekend. Yeah, they like poke.
They really like poke.
I hope he goes poke Varus here now, at least.
Okay, now we're going to have the Gwen here, so mitigating some of that long-range poke, making sure that you can keep it at least a melee option for a little while.
If we're talking like pure comfort here, 113 would pick Viego. You know, that's like his bread and butter. I think it was one of his most played champions last year as well.
Oh, I kind of like the Trundle. The little pillars.
But
yeah, the pillars
Trundle,
are good. Into Zoe especially,
yeah,
you know, telegraph return point. Feels nice.
Makes the most sense into Nautilus as well. So with that Jack span and with Gwen picked up, what does Chasy pick into this? Does he pick something like the Fiora? Renekton could work
Gwen
as well?
feels like a preemptive deny for the Cassante. So trying to at least usher him away from that. Renekton in the past been something you go for, but I don't really love that matchup.
Fiora, yeah, something like that is spicy. Okay, I like it. So MAD Lions, not a lot of poke now when you've got something like Fiora. You're playing side lanes, and they've got hard engage on support. So MAD Lions have a little bit of everything. You know, you've got carries that want to poke if he goes poke Varus. You've got a Vi and Nautilus that want to go in, and you've got a Fiora that kind of wants to side lane. So they're gonna have to play this game pretty well, looking at their win conditions. Astralis are gonna run at you, and they're not going to stop until you're dead. So I think they're just going to be committing forwards onto MAD Lions. Lucian dashing forward, Sylas looking for the Nautilus ult flanking, Trundle making sure they can hit the front line, and Gwen will look for TPs behind, you expect.
I think both these comps are pretty hard to play, and MAD Lions especially. Last game they had a very nice composition where once they got a lead, the path to success was pretty clear. You have a lot of poke, you have this very fed AP Maokai. This game, if you fall behind, it can fall apart so quickly. You need Fiora to be strong on a side lane. You don't have the same team fighting power coming in from your top lane. You don't have the same massive AoE engage coming in from your jungler. Definitely MAD Lions putting a bit more pressure on themselves to execute well. They did pull it off in game 1 in terms of early to mid game, but are going to need to do it again here because the late game insurance isn't nearly as strong this time around.
Top lane is going to be so crucial in who can get ahead on side lane. I think the Fiora will outscale eventually, but if Gwen is ahead in this mid to late game against champions like Nautilus and Vi, she's going to tear straight through them. Especially with a Sylas by her side. Gwen and Sylas will be the divers. And yeah, solo lanes galore here. They can use Nisqy's mid push to play around both those side lanes. So I think slightly MAD Lions favored in the first few minutes.
Is it time? Astralis already down a game. This is their elimination match. MAD Lions already up 1-0. We'll have to see. Can they do it? Can Astralis bring it back? It's time for game 2.
And I believe we're going to get into the game in just a second. Bear with us. We're loading in.
We're
waiting.
We're waiting.
Give it a minute. Give it a second.
I could start the game because I have the button.
Yeah.
I've been informed I can't. I don't. The button doesn't work.
It's
apparently.
gone. Is it still here? No, there's a pause. So we've got a little bit of a pause going on. The game's just started. I'll give you to the crowd.
Every time
Fnatic.
A player pauses, Fnatic gets their wings. Is that how the quote goes?
Well, at least Fnatic made it to playoffs then, didn't they? Theoretically.
In spirit.
In spirit.
They're here with us now.
They're here with us now.
What the heck? Fnatic pause hack? 200 CS? What?
You know the chit chat's just flying, isn't it? Yeah, we'll keep you updated as to what happened. I can see that all of them were just standing in base and the game was paused, so someone must have had some kind of loading in issue. Maybe someone bought the wrong items. Let's have a look. Did someone buy the right? No, they didn't. Okay.
All right. Thank you for the technical breakdown there. They're all standing in the base. It's like, yeah, the game is literally paused, bro. I don't know where else are they going to stand.
A couple years ago, you know, there was a bug on Karthus where you could like get out of the base gate level 1 in the first 2 seconds and you could like run to their jungle. It was so funny. That was like one of the funniest things ever.
There it is. I can't read French, but I'm going to hope that that says something wholesome. Or that someone in the production room can read French just in case it doesn't. There's got to be a meta somewhere where you just... never mind, I'm not going to encourage that.
No, don't encourage it. I was going to say you're opening the can of worms here.
We only want wholesome things on sides here.
Yeah.
The LEC during our Kit Kat game pause, have a break, have a Kit Kat.
See, this is one of those times where I wish I was in the game on the client because I can see them all looking over at each other every now and then.
It's that intern on the treadmill. He's just not going fast enough to power the stage. We're sorry. We're replacing him with a stronger,
between two
fitter intern. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no wonder the games keep fresh. You need to get him to start pedaling faster.
The lights on us are turning on, which is usually a sign that you might get to see our faces soon. But yeah, in the meantime, we can talk a little bit more. A reminder, big stakes. Obviously, this is a fight to make it into the top 4. Already, we have one name that we maybe weren't ready for. Certainly weren't ready for at the start of the season and have been continually impressed by, and that is SK. Astralis showing us so much yesterday in a big upset. And now looking to do it again.
Caedrel start the game.
Caedrel start the game.
This can't be a chant now. Can't... Okay, give me a sec. Let me start the game, guys. Let me press my little button under this PC.
Was this a giant ploy for Twitch Prime subscribers?
1 sec, I'm just pressing a button, Drakos. And we're ready to get into game 2!
And yes, here we are back on the Rift. The all-powerful, all-knowing Mark Caedrel Lamont has finally deemed it necessary to start the game. Ooh, this is the classic. Remember, tiny sliver vision. Can we get the vision?
They don't have hook. They don't have hook. The bubble, though. It's a 5v5 level. Take a 5v5. Look at the bubble. Look at the bubble. It's a massive bubble.
That is a career-defining bubble right there. They keep it going, but they get first blood. Oh, they're going to keep killing everybody. Chasy's procking vitals left and right. Can they get one back? Bubble again.
Only one.
Carzzy getting another kill. This is disaster for the side of Astralis. The bubble, we thought it could be enough, but Mad's bubble was better.
It was just a bubble gap, wasn't it? They managed to single out one target with it, and the hook came back up. JeongHoon, bubble onto 4, montage making, flash before the eyes, and then all of a sudden, they lost the fight.
If he was a full AP Nami, I just would have ripped off Cat and Flowers.
Let's just analyze this deeply.
Bubble finds them all.
Look at this bubble. How do they not win? The Trundle's there as well. Hit them. Yeah, they do. But then they flash out, and then they turn with the hook. Oh, he took a pillar level 1. I thought 113 could go for a Q start there, level 1. You know, Trundle auto, Q auto.
They were not ready for the full-on 5v5.
Yeah, wow.
They were definitely thinking that they were going to be... The picked have become the... The pickers have become the picked.
Yeah. Which depicted the 2 kills.
English is hard. How did we...
Hook.
Oh, going forward. Slow,
bubble.
getting procced. Clean bubble. Again. Astralis not hitting a lot of these kills. JeongHoon hitting a lot of these bubbles, though.
Hitting a lot of these hooks as well.
There you go.
Apart from that first one. It was a blind one. So we'll let him off for that one. But yeah, disaster in the early game for Astralis.
I would
Not
say
what
so,
you want
yeah.
in an elimination game. Kill over to Vi, kill over to Varus. Bot's going to get pushed in now a little bit. Assists. Gold wasn't spent yet, so it's not the end of the world. You see a kill on to Elyoya. Doesn't have an item. Same story for Carzzy. 113's done his bot side camps. Nisqy no flash. JeongHoon no flash. That's the places they can look to punish here either side.
Really want to capitalize on those summoner spell discrepancies. Maybe look to get something done here. And it is a bit concerning that once again Elyoya is off to a strong start, because the previous game he got what I'd like to call turbo fed, and that damage per minute is fake news because it was poke Maokai, but it is still impressive nonetheless. And he's looking to follow up here. Nice backstep from Finn, holding on the dash there. Still a positive trade at the end of the day for the Mad top laner. Finn going to be frustrated about that one, but walks away with his life, walks away with his sums. Elyoya goes again.
Does he see him in that bush? Did he sneak in? I think the ping just came out, so he must have spotted him.
Can we get the vision? Observers?
Yeah, well, he's obviously in the bush because you can't see them. But did he see him before?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He doesn't have a ward
the observers were like, what?
How long does Elyoya want to stay here for? Do we have to
listen to him? They're probably asking.
Finn's like, surely he's based by now, right? Surely he's in base. I can walk up now and look for a creep. And he's like, surely I'm fine, right? Nope.
Oh, the dash still gets caught out there in the end, and it's a quick kill on the top side.
Oh, Finn's just shaking his head. He's like, how long was he in that bush for? There's no way he stuck around for that long.
It's like in Ocean's 11 where they sneak that box into the safe, but there's a guy in the box. Elyoya's the guy in the box.
Like the Trojan horse.
Yes.
Oh my god. Deep.
This is brutal.
Except he was in the bush this time.
I'm sorry. We were so ready for a really serious cast, and then they 5v5'd at level 1, and I have lost all of the will to treat this with seriousness. But it is an elimination match, and this is a disastrous start for Astralis. This sucks. Your back is against the wall. This is about the worst start you could have.
So did he see him? Oh, he saw him. But then he thought, like, surely he's based by now. Can we get this sped up? Yeah. I mean, look how long this is. Really? Like, is he... Junglers, man. It must be personal up here. Like, he spent at least a minute up here while... I mean, 113 is finishing his full clear. And I think Finn just wants 1 minion. And they have the base damage to just kill him on the level 3s. He didn't lose that much because the wave's pushing into him now, and I think he TP'd back up. Chasy's laughing because he realizes, like, Elyoya has just spent a minute and a half in my lane, won a legend.
Yeah, normally when I spend a minute in a lane, it's because I want to steal XP, but I'm there for a gank. But respect to Elyoya for making it work. He's now 1-1-3, just walking forward. Trundle wins these. You do not get to play bonk with Trundle. We learned that in the Zanzara era.
Hook. Hilly. He's posturing for it. Not going to go for it, though. So,
Ooh,
I don't know. I can never tell with Hilly. He just looks like he wants the hook when he's walking up like that, but sometimes he just holds it.
That is what makes Hilly kind of a terrifying player to play against. You never know.
Look at him.
He's always looking for a hook. He's going to find it in this instance. Good damage. Kobbe now trying to get a bit of a trade back, but Carzzy still walking forward. Bubble connects onto Hylissang, desperate to find that kill. Flashing out to safety. Carzzy still trading back. JeongHoon throwing in autos left and right. 1-1-3 on the way down. Elyoya's already here, but maybe, just maybe, they can win the 3v3.
Oh, the Q.
Big arrow.
Dashed away from. So good cover here by Elyoya. Yeah, but like the early game it's been a bit of a horror here for Astralis. We'll see if they can recover it. Top's behind, jungle's a little bit behind. Bot is struggling, but it's not the end of the world. Hilly's staying around here. No flash on Kobbe. Maybe he's looking to flash auto attack him on this next push out. They'll see 1-1-3 on that pink. Does 1-1-3 suspect that they're making this play happen?
He can spot it with the pillar. He's lingering.
They're gone.
Respect to MAD Lions for just completing their bases there.
Yeah, it takes a lot of you know, mental fortitude to just
walks
base
forward and pillars you. 2 people are dying.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't say for which teams, but at least 2 people would die.
100%. You don't want to take risks like that when you've got such a stable early game. You know, you get 2 kills level 1, you get a kill top. Is it really worth taking risks on bot side when you're already ahead? Start stacking these neutrals, get out of base quick, start setting up for Herald in the next minute and a half.
And this has the potential to be a massive, massive game for Chasy on the top side of the map. He has been set up for so much success. In the previous game, he won a lot in isolation, just Gnar versus GP, but now getting camped, getting backup from the rest of the team, and they're looking to put Finn into the ground. So difficult now for the Gwen. 1-1-3, showing on top side, but down a little bit in experience, down 1 camp, it looks like. Of course, Elyoya also soaked some experience on the top side.
I think he was looking to maybe proxy or just find a way out there. Like you're gonna base, no TPs for either top laner. Too much action has happened after that gank. Dajor's going to take the Nautilus ult. I think he's going to use that for this Herald fight in the next minute. JeongHoon's here to try to secure some kind of mid-push. I was thinking Dajor was going to ult onto Nisqy there to try and force out a flash, but going to end up saving it. And is this the situation here where Astralis say, you know what, the lanes are losing. Let's try to break the lane phase, try to fight the Herald, try to start a fight in this river. Would be a bit risky because they don't have any control yet. But if they group up and force their way in, they can find something. Good poke from Nisqy.
I mean, the Trundle is still a monster in the early game. Base stats alone, he is only level 4, so it's definitely not where he would like to be, but press the attack Trundle can do a lot of work in early skirmishes. The pillar as well. Good news for Astralis is if they can not fall too much further behind and they can keep it close to touching distance as we get later and later into the game. I do like a lot of what their composition can do, especially if Finn looks to play maybe less towards the side lane with something like Nashor's Tooth and more for the team fight with the kind of, you know, the death cap full AP build.
MAD Lions gonna get this bot crab, gonna start up the dragon. Does Astralis respond? Looks like the answer is no, but Herald's up, and it looks like Finn's gonna try to drop a ward on it. And then do they move up towards that objective when they hear this dragon die? No, Finn's just gonna start it. So they're saying, let's start Herald. I don't think MAD Lions are gonna let them get away with that. Nisqy's contesting mid-push, trying to figure out where Dajor's going. I think they know that something's up here. Here comes Hilly and Elyoya. JeongHoon's a little bit split off. Support's only level 4, but Carzzy's here level 6. Kobbe just pushed out bot. It's a 5v4 for the next 30 seconds. They need to reset this ideally here, Astralis, and buy some time for the early carry.
That Scryer's Bloom is so clutch in terms of giving them information. Ult about to expire, so they just throw it down onto Hylissang. They do not reset the Herald. Basically just a big leash for MAD right now.
Yeah, it's
and
gone.
MAD, again, the diligence MAD are showing in this series, so fantastic to watch. Very clearly not looking to give anything up to the side of Astralis.
It's just the level difference, isn't it? Elyoya is level 6, 1-1-3 is only level 5. The Vial turn is just too powerful. And yeah, they have a little bit extra gold as well from those early plays too. So Kobbe being late on top of all of that makes it so they can't really contest it. They can't cross-map, and MAD Lions just own both sides of the river right now. The Fiora is winning up against the Gwen. The Varus can get bot push. I think MAD Lions are being really responsible with the lead they were given.
Yeah. And when we look at MAD Lions historically, a lot of times it was sometimes really explosive early games into sloppy mid games into late game team fights. And this MAD Lions seems to be looking up to clean up that early and mid game. Show us more than maybe MAD Lions in the past. As Hylissang Still lives to cancel bases and is still willing to die for it. Hylissang will barely walk away. Finn now trying to back to safety. 1-1-3 on the way in. Good damage now coming in. Parry goes out. Finn gonna get cut down before the fight can go anywhere. Ulti coming in is huge. The Fiora healing up everybody. 1-1-3 still committing for this. Desperate to get it back. Dajor on the way. Has the flash.
Oh, he has no damage. He's on a Balmy Cinder. He's got no Sheen. Not going towards Sunderer. And this is a play that Astralis opted into. When we get the replay of that, I would love to see the ward on Elyoya because he just ran on vision straight towards top. 1-1-3 said he will match it, and they decided to go for this 2v2. And they ended up losing it. I don't think they can out-damage a Vi Fiora, level 7, level 8, when you have a Balmy Cinder and Gwen is struggling. Yes, they have the Ignite, but the chain CC is too much. The W from Fiora negates a lot of damage. They can't really burst through a singular target, so we'll see it here again. Elyoya moves up towards the top side on a ward. They see exactly what MAD Lions' play is. The question mark pings come out. They say Astralis here in comms, right, let's try the 2v2. Maybe we can turn the game here. And then they stood no chance whatsoever in the 2v2. Finn baits it, yes, but he gets hit by the Q, I think. And then he gets hit by the chain CC, and he can't really offer much.
Yep. He just gets deleted before the fight even starts. Trundle ult is effectively useless there, because it gives 1-1-3 a bunch of resistances that he doesn't use because no one is hitting him. And Finn isn't hitting anybody either, so while Trundle ult can be an absolute game changer, in that context it was completely useless.
Yeah, not enough damage, unfortunately, there for the Astralis top jungle. The one person who has been sitting pretty happy is Dajor. He's got his mythic already. We'll see if he can use it here. Vi ult, Everfrost. A lot of CC on this Sylas if they want to take a fight.
He going in, now just trying to find his way into the backline. Dajor getting this fight started, but this is not what they want to be doing. It is a feeding frenzy. MAD Lions living up to their name.
It is.
They are angry, and they are eating everybody.
I mean, I can see why Dajor went in, but they're at such a numbers disadvantage that he's going to go in and no one's going to really join him. He was quite strong in that initial engage. But yeah, Kobbe's not there. JeongHoon's not level 6 yet. Hilly is. It's just a bit of a disaster around the entire map here for MAD. They're probably going to pop Herald mid here, try to get as many plates for Nisqy as possible. And Top's winning in isolation. Carzzy's just really far ahead of this Lucian right now. Will probably have his shield go on base. Probably kill him here, actually.
Hook goes in, big damage coming out, pushing him out of the way. Just a little bit of... Oh, 1-1-3 still holding on. Keeping that life bar full.
Nisqy's Q went wide. I think it got pulled. He got pulled out of it somehow.
He got pushed out by Elyoya Q,
I think it was the Vi Q that knocked him out of the Zoe Q, unfortunately, for MAD. That would have been a quick kill. Slight misplay, not the end of the world. Is Hilly gonna hook again? No way, right?
He is.
But I don't know if they win this, though. That's the problem.
That was a bad... That was... What the... What? Carzzy's gonna solo kill on the side, but I don't think Carzzy wins this either. What is going on? Wait, no, maybe he does win. Carzzy...
Chaos ensues on Summoner's Rift.
Thank you. What?
As Hylissang rings the bell and everyone decides that they're bloodthirsty.
You're a great play-by-play caster. Thank you, Mark. That was the weirdest sequence of play I've cast in a long time. And we cast that SK game yesterday, and that I thought was the weirdest game I've cast.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was, I would love to see the replay of that because you have a Zoe who has no Q.
I don't know if I need to see this.
So he hooks in, Zoe just Qs him for like, what, 10% HP? Hilly thinks that's a kill. Classic Hilly. Carzzy's killing JeongHoon for some reason. And then in this 1v2 where he's guaranteed dead, he somehow just decides to flash over the Sylas Q and get the kill. And he's in their jungle, fighting the mid-jungle of Astralis. Let's keep this going, Carzzy. Having a bit of fun.
Having a bit of fun. And they have room to have a bit of fun because they are still wildly far ahead. Now, it was a 4K lead after that sequence of play. It's only 3K, but still very much in their favor. Top lane is essentially unplayable for Finn, and bot lane, well, last game was very much Astralis' favorite. This time around, MAD Lions are not only stable, they are pulling pretty far ahead themselves. On the way down here, a lot of kill pressure, very early Black Cleaver.
Yep. Buffed on this patch, of course, will be pretty powerful. Finn not getting too bad of a trade there onto Chasy. If he can get towards that level 11 and get a solo kill in this lane, that'll turn the tides of this top matchup.
Has the Ignite, has a lot of tools to mitigate the healing coming in from Chasy on the all-in.
So MAD Lions going to start up this dragon. I think they win the 4v4 so incredibly hard right now, but maybe Astralis want to contest. Flash up for 1-1-3 soon. Nisqy's trying to lay down a bit of poke. Bubble lands and looks like they're out of there. Don't want to take that fight. Just kind of watching them take the dragon away. Finn maybe can look for this top crab. Try to deny something from the MAD Lions.
Hex Gate's now active. It is going to be that Hextech Soul. MAD Lions feeling like a very similar recipes for success as we saw in the previous game. Not necessarily needing to overforce here, although there was a little bit more questionable plays in the mid lane. Kobbe Throwing down the Culling here.
Nice. Lands, I think, almost all of the bullets there. 1-1-3, and they are trying to threaten some kind of bot dive, but Carzzy has heal, he has shield bow, and Elyoya's hovering to cover this dive, so not much of a play will come of it. 3k gold deficit right now, but they've got some control of the map. Bot side, they've flushed out a lot of these pink wards. Engage in bot.
Kobbe gonna be in trouble here, dashing, doing everything he can. Gale forcing out to safety, and for now he is still standing. JeongHoon will get taken out, but Kobbe won't be able to walk away with his life.
Oh, Vi Nautilus, what's the counterplay? One's charging at you, ready to knock you up, and there's a dung chasing you no matter how far you go, so double knock-up lands. Kobbe has to flash, and JeongHoon is the one that ends up losing his life. Just point and click CC, easy lockdown. A little bit of chunk here from Nisqy. Will land the Q, will he? Yes, he will. Chasy's here to look for some kind of dive.
Taking away some of these item actives, still pushing for this one. Ignite now ticking, 1-1-3 waiting over the wall. Nisqy not quite able to land that last battle star.
Well played, but I think on the next wave he can maybe look for this mid-tier 1. Dajor's TP's coming up really soon. Maybe he gets there before the wave crashes. Chasy's moving back up towards his top side. Finn, is this the all-in? He has level 11 to level 10. This is it, I think, for Finn. Just go all in.
Stepping in, gonna miss the first one. Chasy, clean play. Finn's not hitting anything. He needs those needles to connect. He's waiting. He's holding on to the last stack. Going in, but here comes Elyoya. In the meantime, Finn getting absolutely outplayed in the 1v1. It is so clean from Chasy.
Almost pulled it off towards the final tick of the ultimate with the Ignite, but yeah, Elyoya comes in to seal the deal. The healing proc was through from the Vitals from Chasy too. Didn't actually hug the wall there enough, Finn, to stop the last one from coming in. 1-1-3 is going to start up Herald. Dajor's going to TP bot. We've got plays all over the map here. Can he look for Carzzy? No flash, but he's alone again. Can Kobbe join him?
They need to get something. Stolen Varus ultimate. There is no way Carzzy should be able to make it out of this one, but Nautilus there to body block, stopping most of the follow-up. JeongHoon on the backside. Carzzy should just get taken out here. Nisqy waiting over the wall. The bubble's not going to connect on anybody. Carzzy now backstepping, staying alive as long as he can. A shutdown. Massive money into the back pocket of Dajor and Astralis.
Some kills. 4-1 now on this Sylas. We'll see what he can buy in base. 1k gold lead over Nisqy, looking for that Shadow Flame. And he'll be sitting pretty at 2 items here, I think, the Sylas here in base. Yes, he will.
Bought the Dark Seal.
Yeah, he's going Magi's this game. Full send here for Astralis. If they lose, they are out. Mad Lions will move to the next round against SK if they pick up this win. Look at the replay here. I think this will be off the TP, yeah. So what Hylissang does here is he tries to body block the Varus ult that's taken away. And I think he does a good job of doing so, but it doesn't really stop the chains of corruption from spreading. So he ends up getting rooted regardless. Nisqy's trying to peel over the wall, but he misses the Q, not enough damage. And then Carzzy ends up losing his life. 2 shutdowns over to Dajor. Fighting top here. Finn is as good as
dead. That would be it. Finn gone. In the time that replay was winding down. Another clean kill on the top side. Not really a lot for Finn to do. Level 11 matching, but that last opportunity on the top side where he was not able to win the 1v1, it only gets harder from here as there's so much pressure coming in from the Gwen. Nisqy now getting chased down. Kobbe has to be careful. Sleepy Trouble could spell his end. Nisqy still getting a little aggressive as Chasy going to follow this Herald in on the top side, and Mad Lions just continue to build up their gold lead, build up their control over the map.
Oof. Can they dive this Trundle? I think they're thinking about it, but he has ultimate. Would be a little bit risky.
They're just trying to force the ulti out, maybe bait.
Dajor's here. Level 12 on this Sylas.
This could be big. Oh yeah, it's not that strong. I like the flash forward from 1-1-3. Immediately going to pop the ultimate just to try to stay as tanky as long as possible. Chasy, they're not going to be able to burn through him, but they can burn through Elyoya. Dajor now on the hunt, looking for one more. He does so much damage. This is a big Sylas. Elyoya going to make it out. Chasy going to give his life. Keep his jungler standing.
Go on, Dajor. 5 kills on the Sylas, picking up all these shutdowns. Wherever he goes, they can maybe pressure the map. And I think he's just going to drop all minions and roam around at this point here, the Sylas. The only win condition they have is Dajor.
He's the jungler now?
He's the jungler, he's the mid laner, he's the top laner, he's the AD carry. He can do it all.
Everyone's getting their chance.
2 stacks though.
Dark Seal, good purchase.
See how many more he can pick up, but he has a lot of good ultimates to work with. Varus, Nautilus, Vi can engage onto that single target.
And the struggle here is that Kobbe has stayed relatively even in terms of gold, in terms of itemization. But Finn is going to struggle. They are really hoping that they just can keep Chasy contained to that side lane.
Yeah.
Finn needs a lot more time before he's going to be relevant in this game.
I like the on the player cams of Astralis, JeongHoon there was just laughing, just sat up in his chair, had a bit of a giggle. I think they know that the game is in a very tough state, but I think they're just going to play to 1 win condition, like I said, of Dajor and Sylas. See if they can make it work. Nothing to lose. Just hang on a second. Dajor.
Mad Lions are not a fan of that win condition. They're immediately going to throw down every piece of CC they have. They put him to sleep. They tuck him in. They take him out of the equation. Massive shutdown. Hope starts to dwindle for the side of Astralis, but they are making a play back in the mid lane.
And they tell him a good night story with the little sleepy Trouble bubble. They're gonna get the dragon as well. Mid tier 1 falls. Gonna go for a top tier 2 here, maybe Astralis, but I think they can base and cover this in time. We'll see if they do so. Looks like they're a little bit late to it. Small wave. 1-1-3 is around. No Herald to work with either. Maybe they just full commit. Is a lot of gold, but yeah, 3 caster creeps. No chance they're gonna get this down.
1-1-3 now trying to back off. Chasy very scary, but doesn't have a ton of CC here. Taking the tower aggro though. The stun comes through. That bubble did not work out well for them. Finn now trying to finish this one off, and Finn manages to get the kill. Massive the damage from the Gwen. Already starting to look strong.
Maybe they can get it.
Elyoya, are they gonna stick around? They are full committing.
Wow, Astralis are just full send.
Nisqy on the bottom side is not gonna do any damage to a tower. They're just gonna look to slaughter him. Kobbe doesn't have any mana, but I don't think he needs it. Flashing in, auto attack shut down. Astralis holding on to hope.
It's only a 1k gold deficit. What? Yes, they're down a lot of dragons, but this Sylas is so strong. The Lucian's 1.3k gold up. All these skirmishes have been going in favor of the top jungle of MAD Lions. But the mid and bot of Astralis are now ahead.
And I was really ready to talk about MAD and say, hey, after they got smacked around by G2, this is the kind of performance that they needed to have. Clean game 1 into clean game 2. But it has not been clean. Astralis have not been making it easy on them. You can see here, just getting a little overconfident.
So what Astralis are doing here is they realize they're behind, and they're committing numbers to plays, 4 or 5 numbers to every play they commit to, knowing that they'll have more numbers than MAD Lions. And if it fails, it'll be a disaster, because the rest of the map will fall apart. But if it succeeds, then they can get objectives, match the cross maps, and get some kills if MAD Lions overcommit. And they overcommit, they should have just given this tower. They gave over an extra shutdown on Elyoya. And really good macro to just run straight top after mid when you hear the dragon's dead. And it's on MAD Lions there to have, you know, the awareness to all base, cover top, respect Astralis despite them being behind, realize they're overcommitting with numbers, push them back, regain map control. But no, they don't, and Astralis finds some plays. So now it's Kobbe and Dajor versus the world.
Absolutely is, because moments ago, Kobbe was about 200 gold behind, maybe 300 gold behind, but they're just going to try to start this up.
But the ward, it's not spotted by... No, there's a pink on top of the ward, I think. There's a control ward on top of the actual vision ward. So they see the Baron here, MAD Lions. Hilly must have placed that.
Sleepy Trundle. Nisqy gonna zone them off. MAD Lions, so they just try to force this fight here. It's a bit risky.
Yeah, that's such a good placement of double ward on top of each other there from Hilly. That ward has a pink on top of it. So they thought they were off vision, but they weren't. So MAD Lions knew exactly what was going on. They knew the sneak could happen. Ah, good play from Hilly there. Good warding.
Game-saving ward, potentially.
Yeah, now they want to engage mid.
Ready to go over the wall. Ulti stolen away. 1-1-3 looking to get things started immediately. Going to the backside. Focusing on Elyoya. Maybe not the target. That is not what you needed. Already the Fiora ult now popped. Flashing out to safety. I think he was looking for somebody else there. Nisqy now going in, has a stolen flash. Following up immediately, not hesitating. Again, the sleep coming through. Another will fall. MAD Lions, just like that, back in control.
Dajor went way too deep. Where's the follow-up? The Nami ult wasn't even used. I'm not sure if it was off cooldown, but he's just committing 1 versus 5 at that point. I could hear the MAD Lions players through these soundproof headsets screaming Sylas. Nisqy?
Nisqy, having fun
nice block by Finn.
Good from Finn. Baron still getting chunked away at. Still has more stacks here, but should just be Baron to the side of MAD Lions. That's going to make that Fiora even more terrifying in the side lane. And while there were glimmers of hope for Astralis, once again, MAD finding themselves at a pretty substantial lead.
Nisqy almost died there. Probably took a combo from Kobbe. I saw him buffed up by the E, so manages to get out with his life, has the barrier up as well. So now with this Baron, MAD Lions should start to regain control of this this map. Astralis have had their fun, but now MAD Lions want to run away with this, play as a team, make sure they don't overcommit. But here, Dajor, why is he going in 1 versus 5, basically? There's no Nami ult, there's no team, there's a Trundle next to you, yes, but there's nothing to do that. And then the chase comes through. MAD push them back. They find a kill here onto 1-1-3, and that sets up the Baron.
Easy pick. Easy follow of Baron. Nisqy still playing on the edge there, just trying to make sure that MAD have no hope of potentially stealing that one away. And this is where the Zoe starts to get very devastating, is on the siege. Can just poke so consistently. So hard for Astralis to do anything unless they're ready to full engage under this MAD Lions lineup.
Yep. Chasy looking for the solo lanes of Astralis.
And despite everything Astralis have done to fight back, we're in the same exact situation we were in the previous game, where MAD, once again, 3 Drakes into Baron, with Soul spawning in the duration of their Baron.
Double TP.
Astralis learning from game 1, now looking to force this fight. Elyoya on the retreat. Carzzy potentially in trouble here. They have to wait for his ult to fade away. Hylissang bubbled over the wall. But 113 is so low.
Dajor.
Sleepy, who's going to body block? No one can afford to. Dajor taken out. He had to build full damage for any hope in the fight. It means that he's easy picking Kobbe. Now doing what he can to try and win this one, but it's Elyoya right into the 80 carry. Body block coming in from 113 to mitigate what they can, but Carzzy does not go down. Carzzy finding a double, looking to make it a triple. Everything falling apart. And Mad Lions finding all the advantages that they could hope for. JeongHoon, the last one standing, going to dance around this tower. But that is just about it.
Can they end Mad Lions? 20 seconds on the respawn for Dajor and 113. I think they're going to get an inhibitor at best and then move towards the Dragon, pick up the soul and look for one final fight to push them to the best of fives next weekend. Or are they? They're going to keep going here. 10 seconds on the spawns. Can Mad Lions look to end? It's going to be a bit close on the spawn of Sylas. Let's see how fast they get to these towers. I think it's done. They have so much tower damage. It's crazy. They're just melting through. Nexus is left.
Dajor is up. If they just hit the Nexus, the game will fall away. Mad Lions eyes on the prize. They take the Nexus. They take the game. They take the series. They will move up to top 4 in the LEC.
Just like that, one team fight around mid. Just past the 20-minute mark with a Baron. Allows them to close it out. 20-second respawns gets them from tier 2 to Nexus, just like that. Boom. Mad Lions looking clean. Did look a little bit shaky in the mid-game. Lost a couple towers, gave a couple shutdowns over, but then they regained their composure, made sure the Baron was on a threat, and then found their picks.
The more Mad change, the more they stay the same. But of course, they were so far ahead. Took some risks. Still, at the end of the day, we're able to find that win, a 2-0 over Astralis. Two very similar games where Astralis had little glimmers of hope, found small edges, but it always felt like Mad Lions were trading up.
I think Astralis can be pretty happy with this split overall. I think there's a lot to take away, but in terms of looking forwards to spring, I think their bot lane is such a standout.
And remember, this is their best finish ever, and they did make top 6, which in our old format would have been playoffs.
Yeah.
Would have been the next step, would have been into best of 5s. And that's surviving past the first round of elimination, surviving 2 top 8. This is more than a lot of people expected. And kind of a reminder of the potential of the players on this lineup. And I'm especially talking about Kobbe when I talk about that, because I think we got used to looking at him as Mr. Consistent. And I think we need to be ready to reevaluate him in the splits to come as Mr. Explosive, as Mr. Carry.
Yep.
Even if could not find it in him today, still hope for that lineup. The Mad Lions, the victors, moving up to face off against SK. And again, at the start of the year, I would have said this is an easy prediction. It is not an easy prediction anymore.
It isn't. It's a tough one. But it's Mad Lions' day, and they can prepare for those best of 5s. And I mean, you can say the memes of last year, you know, qualify for Worlds, didn't win a single best of 5, yada, yada, yada. But ever since Nisqy's come onto this lineup after that disaster of a spring last year, he's just reinvigorated this whole roster.
Nisqy's a monster. Yeah. We saw it more in Game 1 than we saw it in Game 2, but Nisqy is playing like a man possessed. And I think for Mad Lions fans, you're looking up just to see how far they can go. Of course, player of the series at LEC on Twitter, Chasy, Elyoya, or Carzzy are your options.
No Nisqy.
Yeah, Game 1, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because Game 1 was really good, but then Game 2 was like maybe less.
I think Elyoya. Elyoya played really well this game. And last game.
Chasy also, though. Got camped more in Game 2, though.
Yeah, I think Chasy, the thing is with top lane, it's so hard to stand out. Unless, the only way you can stand out as top lane is if you have like a massive 4-man Gnarled. Yeah.
Of course, but if you're taking into account both games.
In isolation, Chasy was doing pretty well, though.
He was.
It was a fun series. I think everyone expected Mad Lions to be the favorites coming into it, and they looked like the favorites from the gameplay, of course.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think now it's just eyes on SK. How are they going to perform against Mad Lions?
It's a big question we have on our minds. In the meantime, let's hear from Mac after that commanding win for Mad Lions.
Drakos and Mac, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on the win. Now, you guys are coming from an 0-2 into a 2-0. What has changed in between?
I don't think that much changed. I think the 0-2 to G2 was just a really frustrating loss for us. And maybe it took us down like a little bit of a peg because, you know, it's easy to get ahead of yourself, you know. We had like a really kind of commanding regular season win over them. So I think it was maybe in hindsight a good loss for the team.
Oh, it was like a good mental loss, kind of?
Maybe. I think it highlighted a lot of our flaws, right?
Okay, and when it comes to that, do you think that maybe some players in your team need to see the loss directly reflected in a loss for them to like take it a step forward and try to work on that?
Yeah. I mean, our players have been pretty outspoken about the fact that our scrims are not exactly peaceful and orderly. And I think some of the bad habits that we picked up in scrims kind of showed up on stage. And so that's honestly probably a good thing for the development of the team.
Absolutely. And are you, as a coach, happy with today's performance and what you saw?
Game 1, I'm pretty happy. Game 2 was a bit more sloppy than I would have liked, for sure. So, I don't think the players are going to be super happy about it either, frankly, although they were having fun. Like, after the first game, we were a bit frustrated because we were going back and forth a bit. We made some silly plays. Like, we went in kind of too fast, too furious a couple times. And between the games, we just kind of said, like, guys, like, let's have fun with it. Like, this is us. This is kind of who we are, Maybe we should just accept it, that we're kind of, sometimes we're gonna jump in like monkeys and, take a deep breath, smile, and go next play.
Absolutely. And from your perspective, what do you think could have been cleaned up a little bit more in that game too?
I think we should have snowballed a bit harder through top. I think we have Zoe who can move into top and just make Gwen's game kind of unplayable. So I think there's that. And then there's also like giving like 5 shutdowns to Sylas, which could have not happened.
Yeah, that played a little bit of a role. And thank you so much for setting my next question, because my next question was about Zoe and Nisqy in general. He has so many, I think 7 or 8 unique picks right now with Zoe. His role in the team seems so much different than last year, where from Roman it's like very mid-centric. How has his development been these 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always been a mid-jungle kind of 2v2 centric team. It was just different last year, but I think Elyoya and Nisqy are like in many ways kind of the backbone or the engine of the team, or whatever analogy you want to use to describe it, But I think Nisqy, I mean, so much credit. He deserves so much credit because I think he's a wonderful example that, like, last year he was, I think, a lot more like, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but he was a lot less well-rounded as a player, right? And I think he put so much work in to overcome that, and he's a wonderful example in that regard.
Well, that was a lovely speech about Nisqy. And honestly, I don't want to ask you any other question because Nisqy is waiting over to PGL, and that was a fantastic ending to the interview. Mac, thank you very much. Congrats on winning again. And we'll toss it over to PGL with Lore, where Nisqy has joined them.